Business Matters, presented by the Guamanian Magazine.
A $26 million telecommunications cable linking Guam and the Northern Marianas is nearing completion. The project by Docomo Pacific is dubbed ATIZA, a Chamorro word meaning to increase the speed, to illuminate. Company president and CEO Jonathan Kriegel says the new cable will enable Docomo to provide the same level of service it offers on Guam to its customers in the CNMI.
This will allow the hospital to have much more bandwidth at reasonable cost. It will allow the College of the Northern Marianas and the public school system up in the Northern Marianas to do so much more. It will allow public safety up in the Northern Marianas to be linked to the rest of the world and linked amongst the islands in a better way. So it's not just for Docomo Pacific. I really think that this project means so much more for the community.
Docomo decided to proceed with the project in the summer of 2015 when a competitor's cable, the only one linking Guam and the CNMI, was damaged, crippling service to the Northern Marianas. ATIZA project manager Lizelle Ballin says their pitch was approved by corporate headquarters in Japan.
There was an opportunity that presented itself. We had already done some of the legwork, and so we built the business case. We had some interviews. We went out to the CNMI, spoke to a lot of the businesses there, spoke to a lot of the medical teams, a lot of the political agencies as well, and really received feedback that there was a need. There was a need for an additional cable. There was a need for some sense of redundancy so that in the event something catastrophic would happen again, we would be better prepared.
They hired Japanese tech company NEC Corporation as an engineering consultant and the cable ship Responder to lay the underwater cable. The fiber optic system will span a length of 175 miles with separate links from Guam to Rota, to Tinian, and to Saipan. Ballin says the routing is designed to exact coordinates, so the laying must be very precise.
You can't just drop it anywhere because there's a point of signaling, right? So you want to make sure you've got the optimum connectivity, the optimum bandwidth that's traveling across the cable, one. Two, you want to also be cognizant of any potential faults, any potential abrasions or conflicts just from elements, right? So you want to choose your position where, again, minimizing risk. So not just environmental impact, but also risk to the cable itself.
Ballin says selecting the landing sites and meeting all the regulatory requirements were probably the most difficult parts of the project. Extensive feasibility studies were conducted to identify the most optimal locations, and they also took into account traditional fishing and public recreational activity in the areas. Claudine Camacho is the chief environmental scientist for consultant Duenas Camacho and Associates.
Usually the leeward side of the islands where there's calmer waters and where the landing could also be at least more direct to shore so that it's not as difficult a haul when they actually land the cable. Of course, we took into consideration seagrass beds. We're avoiding seagrass beds. We looked at areas that were previously disturbed. We tried to identify areas where there's already a disturbed corridor from maybe past development. Government infrastructure was already in place offshore.
The other thing too is just turbulence in the water. So, as the waves come crashing up on the shore, the currents, are a little bit stronger in some cases. So those are all factors. Anytime also that you're coming in to a location, if there's vessel activity, so there's just more risk for the cable to be damaged the more activity there is around it.
Laying the cable is one of the final steps in the process, and the Korea-based CS Responder is specially equipped for undersea installations. Docomo estimates completion by the end of the summer, but once it's turned over, there will still be several weeks of testing before the cable can finally be activated.
The beauty of ATIZA is that truly everyone feels that's involved with this, everyone that comes close to it feels that we're doing something here, we're doing something that is of value to every person in the region. So it's very exciting for us. It's a great project to be a part of. We're very, very thankful, but we couldn't have done it without a lot of our external partnerships, internal team members that are just diligently working to bring ATIZA home.
For KUAM's Business Matters, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Business Matters, presented by the Guamanian Magazine.